In May 2017, I started my spiritual journey to conquer my despair and anxiety, which had lasted throughout my life owing to infancy and adulthood physical and mental abuse. After taking Reiki, I went to London's Holistic Healing College to study spiritual life coaching. It reunited me with my parents, helped me flee an emotionally abusive marriage, and led me to create my own holistic treatment company. Our September 2017 Nielsen sporting holiday to Croatia was with my parents and stepdad. Later in November, my mom and I sailed around St. Lucia. I struggled to understand two concepts when investigating spirituality and personal growth: how to let go within the cosmos and how to believe in my own strength and talents to achieve my goals. Even though my self-perception had improved, I still had poor self-esteem and confidence. I had overcome my anxiety and depression, and my life was improving. Also, I was progressively cutting back on drugs. My mother phoned me in May 2018, just after my birthday, to ask whether I wanted to go on a Nielsen trip to Croatia on June 3. I was thrilled and consulted my supervisor before going. I prepared for the next trip. In September 2017, we met the tennis coach and had a free vacation. Before the resort opened to the public, staff could invite friends and family to try out the modifications and give feedback for free. This was the first Immaculate Miraculous intervention. On June 5, the tennis coach offered us a free week in Croatia 2 days into our trip. He couldn't fill the following week's positions, so we took advantage. He could simply switch our flights because we were at the airport. Excited and scared, I worried my company wouldn't offer me enough time off. "Go for it, Joe," my boss said clearly. "Learn remote operation with me. Enjoy greatly." A divinely inspired, faultless intervention occurred again. Linda arrived the next Sunday. She was wearing a knee brace when I saw her on the tennis courts. I wanted to know why she was wearing a brace since I had a significant knee injury from skiing. I learned to wakeboard on this vacation, which involved going out to sea on a board and being dragged fast. I loved that. Linda says she hurt her knee wakeboarding a year ago. This was the third heavenly intervention. The world observed that Linda was wearing a wakeboarding knee brace to keep me dry due to my severe leg injury. I saw my stepdad win the final tennis match on June 16, 2018. I told my mom I would meet her for lunch after my 11 o'clock a.m. fitness class at 10:55. I rushed to the fitness deck, lay out my mat, and prepared for the workout. Before leaving, I hugged my stepdad and congratulated him on his success. He also came with me. When the music started, we did timed burpees. I was energized and happy as the sun shone down. I was grateful that my family and I did not have to pay for this fantastic opportunity. I suddenly felt the biggest cerebral agony I had ever felt emanating from the back. As I fell to the floor in agony, time stopped and the noise became incoherent. As I saw the fitness teacher desperately try to save me, I felt like my time was running out. "This is it," I said. "I am about to die." When I fell, I lied on my back and accepted my fate. Joy replaced the misery. Most amazing feeling. That place made me happy and contented. I could have stayed all day. My grandfather, who died in 2009, came to mind. He held my head between his fists and said, "Joe, you'll be fine. This must be done immediately. You have my trust." With his hands on my head, I could feel his words directing me without saying a word. My great-grandma loomed over me, extending her palm toward me. She advised me to stay because it wasn't my time. She said, "Stay, child." My great-grandfather was also there, although he seemed more interested in my grandpa than me. I felt tranquility, love, safety, and protection. I was consumed by love. Words cannot explain my feelings. I felt like I was floating, absorbing every detail. I suddenly felt my body again, but I was painless. Like a movie camera, I captured every detail of my surroundings. I was exhausted and calm. I first saw my stepdad's head silhouetted on the wall's 4:10 p.m. clock as I woke up. I thought, I must have blacked out from that headache because the last time I checked the time was 10:55 a.m. I arrived at the hospital on Sunday, July 17, 2018, after more than 24 hours. My parents and doctor told me I fainted on the workout deck in 60 seconds. Fortunately, a paramedic was on the exercise deck with me. The paramedic was a last-minute friend replacement and shouldn't have been on holiday. A defibrillator was within 2 meters of me. A British doctor walked the workout deck. From the neighboring station, an ambulance arrived at the resort in 4 minutes. CPR and the defibrillator, delivered by these people and medical experts, restarted my heart. Never went without air. The doctor suspected a brain bleed based on my symptoms, so I was sent for a scan to the first hospital. I was driven 3 hours across the country to meet my surgeon, who was on vacation on an island halfway across the nation. He flew my mother in to perform my surgery without her consent since he couldn't reach her. Quick action saved my life. The surgeon stopped the bleeding with 3 coils into my leg's main artery, behind my heart, and into my skull. Even though I stabilized, the war continued. My mom was informed the next 3 days were essential because they would be helpless if I bled more. My brain damage's extent was unknown. The ITU held me for 7 days. I feel like I'm in 2 places at once. I was deeply connected to everything and sensed my grandpa everywhere. I was certain this event would not affect me. I was deeply moved by this. After leaving the hospital, I was confident I would be fine and able to resume my joyful life. Critical care felt like a dream. I occasionally sensed my mom and stepdad, but I was generally alone. As my body healed, I felt like I could disengage. All events seemed to happen at once, without any latency. Everything was carefully considered. My physicians cleared me to leave critical care and go to recovery on day 8. I was told I might need medicine for intense headaches after my brain recovered. Still, I knew I wouldn't have headaches or drugs. My body was cured and my mind restored. I realized my creative potential in the following 3 days. Most amazing feeling. It was like finding a new purpose in life. I started drawing again. Music convinced me everything would be fine. I could have all I wanted if I let go and trusted. Never before had I had such a clear plan. I recognized my self-deprecating thoughts and feelings caused my brain bleed. My physical self empowered me by freeing my spirit. It seemed like it was telling me I was the only thing impeding my happiness. I was so joyful and elevated that I wanted to love everyone and everything. Now it was my job to inspire people by sharing my story, and I knew my life had not been wasted. I have to make the most of my terrible experiences to teach others. I was discharged from the Croatian hospital on day 10 with no health complications. The doctor warned of headaches, but none occurred. I've been pain-free since leaving critical care. My attending doctor cried as I left. She said my story was unique and that good news tales were rare in her field. After returning, my doctor and UK friends and family were astounded with my quick recuperation. I am positive that my story was saved for others to hear. My life mission is to help others find their real selves and take responsibility of their lives. I promote our greatness. God is involved and the universe sustains us. Look at my story. First, I was in Croatia when I shouldn't have. People who could have saved me were everywhere. To prevent me from wakeboarding and drowning, the universe contrived to send Linda, the knee brace user, and me to Croatia at the same time. I'm grateful for this wonderful experience. I now understand that life is a reflection of our deepest feelings and beliefs. We create our own reality. My life has changed tremendously since my brain hemorrhage 3 months ago. Not everything has been ideal. I avoid hectic places and seek refuge in isolation and nature since I'm very sensitive to others' vibes. I have little tolerance for those who merely want wealth. I worry they're not living fully because of it. I also love Earth and want to help it and its people recover. Besides writing my book, I wanted to rebrand my holistic practice. I know my future is bright, and I will have all I need if I put others and myself first. I'm excited to start my next chapter.